Hello everyone, hope you're all doing great. Okay, so for this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to craft jewels in Path of Exile. Now, most of what you're about to hear and see also applies to the other items that you can craft in this game. So what you need to start with are a set of jewels. Now, there are three types of jewels in Path of Exile. One is Viridian Jewel, Cobalt Jewel, and Crimson Jewel. Every one of those set of jewels can have very specific stats on them, which means that when you start crafting a jewel, you need to decide what you want to craft or what statistics you want on the jewel. For that purpose, we can make use out of Peofixnet. I will make sure to have this in the description down below as well, so you can catch the site from there. So let's start from the most basic. Things that you need to know, first of all, is that one set of jewel can have 2 prefixes and 2 suffixes. This is just something that you should remember, that you cannot have 3 different stats from the left side. So that you can't have 3 different prefixes, right? Or 3 different suffixes. This is something that when you decide upon like what jewel you want to use, this is something you have to consider. Second of all, jewels can sometimes all have the same, or they can have the same type of stats on them. And that's why it says that Cobalt, Crimson, and Viridian. That means all of these 3 jewels can have a set of all of those stats here. Now, I'm not going to go over all these stats step by step. I'm sure you guys can look at them yourself and find what suits you the best. So let's say a Crimson and Viridian only means that only Crimson and Viridian jewel can have these stats on them. And the same applies to the Cobalt jewels and Crimson jewels only and Viridian jewels only. Okay, so I think this site is going to help you guys a lot, or it's going to help you decide what you need. Okay guys, so remember, use that website as your advantage. It will help you decide what stats you would like to see on your jewel. Also, it will help you decide what jewel you want to use. So pick the jewel that you need, write down the stats that you would be looking for on the jewel, and start crafting. Alright, so let's get to what you need. So here are the crafting materials that you will need for this guide. Orb of Transmutation, which is going to help you upgrade a normal item to a magic item. Orb of Alteration, which is going to reforge the magic item with new random properties. Orb of Augmentation enchants a new property on top of one that you already have. And the Regal Orb that is going to transform the magic item into a rare item. But this is something that you would only be using when you're already happy with the stats that you have on your magic item. That means that, okay, I'm really happy with those stats, and then I'm gonna use the Regal Orb. And the Orb of Scouring is there to rip things apart. Basically, it will make your jewel white again, as you see it here. This is basically if you want to reset your cycle. Okay, I don't like this. You reset it with your Orb of Scouring and you start all over again. Okay, so for this video's purpose, we're gonna be using Viridian Jewel. Okay, but before I'm gonna show you guys step by step how to do it, I wanna also note out that I will tell you at the end of the video also some of the more important stats that you should potentially keep your eyes open on. And this is for the purpose of gaining profit, because the stats that I will mention are typically very expensive on a jewel. Alright, so let's get to it. Okay, so let's put all these materials back in here. Let's take this tunic, and here we go. So we're gonna start this off with the Orb of Transmutation, which is gonna make this a magic item. After that, we take the Orb of Alteration, and we keep using the Orb of Alteration until we get stats on this jewel that we are happy with. So I'm gonna do this a couple of times and see if I can find something that is worth the monies. 4%. A lot of attack speed in that one. Melee critical strike multiplier. That is typically pretty good. So people just search for this type of attribute quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead now and use Orb of Augmentation on this jewel, which is going to add another. Oh my god. This is like, it's already looking really, really good. Because what we get is a critical strike multiplier with one-handed melee weapons. And we also get critical strike multiplier with melee, right? So we're already using a sword or something as a one-handed weapon, or any type of like melee weapon. So this is a lot of critical multiplier, right? I'm happy with this, and I'm going to use a Regal Orb on this one. And we get damage over time. There's a very big chance that when you use the Regal Orb, you won't, by the end of the day, get what you need. So now that I'm not happy with this jewel, what I do, I use Orb of Scouring on it. And I make it back to white, because I wasn't happy with it. Okay, so yeah, this is, and you repeat the same steps. You go to Orb of Transmutation, then you go to Orb of Alteration, and you find something that you are happy with. Oh man, this has life on it. When a jewel has life on it, it is one of the main core stats that everyone is basically searching for. Whenever you get life on a jewel, you should use Regal on it, because you can get something good on it. Right now we didn't, but if we got, like, let's say physical damage or attack speed on this one, that would have already been worth quite a bit. This time we didn't get lucky. So you do it again. You go Orb of Scouring, and you start the same cycle all over and over again. It couldn't be more easier than it is, right? And really, the site that I showed you guys just earlier, you can find not only jewels there, but you can also search out for other equipment, such as, you know, boots, gloves, rings, any type of weapons, really, whatever you feel like crafting. Because what I just showed you guys is the base of crafting pretty much anything, really. I'm not gonna go down the road of telling you, you know, you can use Exalt Orb on it, because these are very expensive, and you would only use Exalt on something that is really, really, really good. But if you really want to know what the Exalt is for, let's say we have a jewel that we already used the Regal Orb on, right? So we use the Regal on the jewel, and we find ourselves in a situation with a extremely good jewel, and you may consider using Exalt on that jewel, which means it will add a 4th stat on top of it, or a 5th one. But honestly, I wouldn't go down that road. 3 is quite good as a jewel. Just try to aim for those 3 first. That's why I didn't really want to mention the Exalt in the first place. I think it's very expensive to use the Exalt, and you would only be doing that when you are very rich. For this video purpose, the whole idea was to show you how to make profit, and this is how you can do it. Okay guys, so let's go over a few very important attributes that you should definitely keep your eyes on. First of all, if you want to make jewels for the profit purpose, I would recommend using Viridian Jewel, the one that I'm using right now. And the attributes that you generally are searching for on a jewel are, that you really, really need to keep eyes on, are bow attack speed, life is the most important thing, physical damage to one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, attack speed to one-handed and two-handed both, fire damage, and minion damage. So those are some, and only some, of the more expensive stats, or more important stats that you should keep eyes on. Okay, so yeah, I think I went over most of it. It couldn't be any easier, right? So this is how you craft the jewels. So there you go. And yeah, that's really it. I think I've given you guys all the advice that I can really give. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. I really hope that some of this was helpful for you guys, either to decide on your own jewels, or to make profit out of it. And I want to thank you again for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like, and happy crafting, guys. Bye bye. Nope, stay away from that. Nice. The explosions are very strong, especially when you have like, especially when you have elemental weakness. You want to avoid anything that explodes.